This is the big reveal. In 3, 2, 1. These are a couple of Bosch Fernseh BCM40C quad VTRs for my friend over in Switzerland that Vario film, Luca Pellegrini. Luca, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. We started working on this about 2 years ago, and then the COVID hit, and then the lockdowns hit, and then more lockdowns, and so eventually all the restrictions and the lockdowns and quarantines were lifted enough to where Luca could get a moving crew into his place back in October of 21, and so he had them moved out to a warehouse there in his town in Switzerland, and then he and my friend David Dean over in the UK arranged for truck shipping from Switzerland up to David's place in Oxon, England. And David hung on to him for a couple of months, and we arranged crating and shipping over to the US from David's place in the UK, and here we are finally after 2 years of waiting and waiting and waiting. We're finally able to have them shipped over here to the US, and I'm very, very happy to be able to have a couple of BCM40s. It's quite a remarkable machine, and to my knowledge, there was never any of these sold in the US back in the heyday, and so I don't really know if there's any in the US. I would sort of suspect not. They're quite remarkable in the sense that they're a fully all standards capable machine, and I suppose that's due to their being built in Europe, you know, where you have several countries that have different standards in Europe, and I don't think Americans ever did look at it that way. Over here, you know, you had RCA and Ampex mainly, and their main focus was NTSC and PAL and CCAM and other things like 405 and 819. Those were kind of secondary importance, I guess. And so it's kind of a different animal in that respect, that these were built from day one with that in mind. All standards, all capabilities. And so I've got one complete, and I have one almost complete, missing some modules. I think between the two machines, I should be able to rebuild one complete functioning machine. And so I guess that will be my next big project over the next coming years, after I get done with the projects I'm already doing or trying to do. And there's a bunch of them, believe me. Anyway, that's what it is. That's a Bosch Fernseh BCM40C from, I think these were built in 1973. as far as the history on these, I only know what I read. Some of the folks in Europe could probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think they built 40s from 1967 to 1974. And I think they only built about 10 a year. So there's probably less than 100 that were ever built. Probably more like 80 or 85, if you did the math. And so that's kind of an interesting little thing there. You know, they're not exactly plentiful, or never were. So it's maybe one of the rarer of the quad machines. So if anybody does know, drop a comment down below and let us know if that's right or not. Anyway, I gotta say again, I really just thank you to Luca over at Variofilm for keeping your word all these years and seeing this thing through finally. And thank you, Luca. I really, really am liking this.